Today we're talking about feet. We're talking about feet. We're not going to be looking at feet. I'm going to be showing you the products and explaining how to use them. I am not going to be getting my feet out. Nobody needs to see that. Although of course after using my products my feet are absolutely amazing, but for my eyes only. So I do 4 foot care products, but I'm also going to be talking about another product as well at the end. So to start with, there is my Minty foot soak, which is like a little mini bath bomb for your feet. You just simply run a bowl of water, pop this in. I like to put my feet in while it's fizzing around because it feels really cold and nice and fizzy. I really like that effect on my feet. I usually soak my feet for, well, until the water's cold really, at least 10 minutes. You want to give them a good soak because the essential oils in the Minty foot soak, there's peppermint, there's eucalyptus and there's spearmint essential oils, and they all work together to cool, soothe, deodorize, relieve pain, de-stress, anti-inflammatory. They're all absolutely amazing essential oils. Not only do they smell brilliant together, but they work brilliantly as well. There's also bentonite clay and green clay in the foot soak, so those draw out impurities and toxins from your feet, and just make your feet feel amazing. While I'm soaking my feet, or when I finish soaking my feet, I usually have a good old scrub with my Minty foot soap. The Minty foot soap is absolutely packed full of pumice. It's got pumice all the way through it, so when I'm making the soap I stir it all the way through, and that turns this into a cleaning scrubbing tool, which is amazing. You can literally scrub all the hard skin off of your feet. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's unlike others that you can get. It doesn't lose its shape, it doesn't dissolve, it doesn't disintegrate. I mean, you can get those pumice stones that you put soap on and you rub your feet. This is a similar thing, that it just saves rubbing the soap on it. They last for blooming ages. I tend to keep mine in the shower, away from the water obviously, because you have to keep, all my soaps you have to keep away from the stream of water, because otherwise they'll just dissolve and they'll just disintegrate. But yeah, I keep this in the shower, and then every morning when I shower, I give my feet a good old scrub, so it kind of keeps it at bay. So this kind of Minty foot soak treatment I tend to do once a week. I usually, a bit of a saddo, I usually do it either while I'm watching the football or the F1 or the cricket. It's my kind of sport thing. I do love sport, yeah, that's what I tend to do. The only problem that I have is stopping the dog from drinking the water. Before I had a dog, it used to be a very pleasurable, very kind of zen-like experience. Now you're running the gauntlet to not let her drink all the water. Bless her. So when I've scrubbed my feet, I dry them off, and then I have 2 moisturising products for my feet, or your feet. I have Minty foot cream and I have Minty foot balm, and I'm often asked what is the difference between the 2, apart from the fact that one's a cream and one's a balm. What I would suggest is that the Minty foot cream is a cocoa butter based cream. It smells divine, because the cocoa butter that I use is unrefined and raw, so it actually smells of chocolate. So with the Minty essential oils in there as well, it smells like after eights. Can't go wrong really. And then I use that on my feet. I use that in the mornings. I use it like during the day, because the Minty foot cream is like a liquid based, like a water based cream, as opposed to an oil based one. It just sinks in really quickly. I mean, I've put that on the back of my hand and that's sunk in quickly and gone. Always reminds me of a funny story, which you might have heard before. Apologies if you have heard it before. I'm going to tell it anyway. When I used to work for a cosmetics company, we always used to have a till teaser. We used to have like a tester on the till for people to try. And this very well-to-do lady, should we say, came up and she was buying something, and she saw this pot of, and it was foot cream, and she was like, oh, this is very nice, and she put it on and she rubbed it in, and she's like, oh, that's lovely, what is it? And I said, oh, it's foot cream. And she's like, but I've put it on my hand, what will it do? And I was working in Romford at the time, and obviously I tend to go full on Romford at the drop of a hat. And I said to her, well, you're not going to grow a toe out the back of your hand, are you? I couldn't help it. And I had to reassure her that although she had put a foot cream on her hand, nothing detrimental was going to happen, because it's just a cream that happens to be good for your feet. No toes will appear on your hands. I'm just putting some more, I just love it so much. I'm just putting some more on this hand. I should have had one for comparison with the foot balm, but I can use my arm for that. And it's just divine. It sinks in really easily. It's made with, there is an infusion of horsetail herb. Horsetail herb is fantastic for boosting the circulation and improving blood flow, and also can help if you've got like thread veins or varicose veins. Obviously I can't make health claims and stuff, but I put the infusion in there to help to improve blood flow in your feet and legs. So if you were to use this, sort of, you could use this foot cream sort of up to your knees if you wanted to. Would really help improve your circulation. But it sinks in, it's completely gone, and that leaves your feet feeling amazing. So because it sinks in, that's why I use it in the mornings, because I can then put shoes on, or socks and boots, or sandals, or whatever I'm wearing, and you're not going to slide all over the place, because I can't stand that. For the evening, and to do its work overnight while I sleep, I use the Minty foot balm. This is what the Minty foot balm looks like. It is a solid bar of cocoa butter with added clays and the essential oils again, of course. Bear with just 2 seconds. No, I'll put them away. I'm such a messy daughter at home. I never put anything away, and I've actually put stuff away. I was going to show you, I've actually bought some socks, some like bedtime cotton socks that are quite useful to pop on after you've used this. It's very slidey, and it's quite a warm day today. It's very, very melty. It will just melt in the heat from your hands or the heat from your feet if you stroke it directly onto freshly cleansed feet. It's very oily, but it's fantastic to really get into all of your feet, especially the tops of your feet can get quite dry. The tops of your feet are a little bit like the backs of your hands. There's less kind of there's no fat there, so there's no fat reserves to kind of plump skin up, so it tends to look very wrinkled and shriveled and very dry. So it's always really good to pay attention to the tops of your feet as well as the soles of your feet. And I tend to give my feet a good old massage with the Minty foot balm. We get sort of right between my toes, and sort of all the way along each toe, because all sorts of things can lurk between your toes. It's where athlete's foot starts and things like that. So it's always really good to pay attention to your feet, and to sort of really give them a good inspect and make sure that there's that there's nothing untoward there. So I use that at night, the Minty foot balm. I mean, you could of course use Minty foot cream. You can use that morning and night. There's nothing wrong with that. I just brought out the Minty foot balm as a more kind of intensive treatment, so that you can you've got the option to use one or the other or both. And then usually, because it makes your feet quite slidey, then I pop on a pair of those cotton socks, and I mean they always fall off in the night, but at least if I go to bed with them on, it gives the product a chance to absorb into my skin before the socks fall off, so that it doesn't get all over the duvet and stuff like that. So that's the Minty foot cream and the Minty foot balm. So that's all the foot products. But there is one more product that I like to use on my feet, and it does help you sleep, and that is my Sleepy Time massage oil. This used to be a balm, and well, it used to be an oil, and then I turned it into a balm, and then I turned it back into an oil, because it was just way easier to turn it into a massage product, because it was like a temple balm. But then I realised the benefits of actually using a massage oil to promote sleep, and that there's so many other places that you can use it. The Sleepy Time massage oil, this is just a tester, it does come in 100ml size. I tend to use it along with, especially if I'm having trouble sleeping, I use it along with the glitter and lavender hand cream, which has got the lavender in it, which helps you sleep. But I use this on my temples, and I use it in the crooks of my elbows, I use it behind my knees, but the best place to use it is on the soles of your feet. Imagine this is your foot, because what you put on the soles of your feet absorbs really quickly and really well into your bloodstream. It's why reflexology works, and sort of other foot treatments. All your nerve endings go into your feet, so it's why pressing on certain points can actually sort of help you sleep, help your digestion, I mean, reflexology is incredible. If you haven't heard of it, Google it. But I always tend to put some of the Sleepy Time massage oil onto the soles of my feet and just rub it in, and that really does promote sleep. It's just incredible. It really does help. And again, if you've done that, then it is a good idea to wear some kind of socks in bed, just to stop, in case you have to get up in the night and your feet are still sliding. You don't want to go sliding all over the bathroom floor. So yeah, that's another one that I really do suggest you try. Not just for foot care. I mean, it makes your feet feel lovely. It's also really good for massage. You could use that to massage, all your feet. Makes you sound like a centipede. Instead of using the Minty foot balm. But yeah, my massage oils are great. They're very therapeutic, but they're also really good for your skin. So it's not just their kind of massage abilities. It's the ability to actually to actually nurture your skin as well, and to nourish your skin. So that's why I'm just kind of mentioning the the sleepy time massage oil as well. So that's all 4 of the foot care products and the oil. What do you like to do? Do you use any particular do you have any particular regime for your feet? I mean, I don't, as I say, I tend to use the Minty foot soak about once a week. I wouldn't do that every day because I don't think your feet need that every single day. But I do scrub them and I do exfoliate them with the Minty foot soap. I do that every day, and then I have a little foot pamper session, sort of once a week, sometimes once a fortnight if I'm out and about and I just haven't had the chance. But definitely once a month, at least once a month. And my feet really do. They have really responded to that. So yeah, that is the foot care module, the foot care bit. As I say, always pay attention to the tops of your feet and sort of up your shins slightly, because it's just like your feet, your heels, your ankles, they can all really dry out and they just look kind of old because they get so wrinkled. And again, with the sunblock, you know, you'd put sunblock on your arms and your legs. Would you actually go down and put sunblock on the top of your foot? You'd just assume that you're going to put shoes on, but the thing is, if you're changing shoes, then you need to really do that. You need to do that, you know, sort of at least once, twice a day, because if you are changing shoes, I've been caught out like that so many times. I've gone out in like plimsolls or something, or Converses, and then I've put flip-flops on, and of course my feet have turned bright red, and then I get the white flip-flop marks on them, and that's it for the whole summer. So it's really important to put some SPF on your feet as well. Obviously not underneath your feet, but on the tops of your feet, and to make sure that they're adequately looked after. Otherwise they'll just end up wrinkly, and you don't want wrinkly feet, just like you don't want wrinkly hands. Take care. Bye.